All right, Gemini, let's get started here. Your theme of the month is the Eight of Cups. All right, so somewhere along the lines, you feel like maybe things aren't moving fast enough. I know that last month you had that similar sensation that you knew something was coming in for you, whether it was love, job, loose ends were kind of tying up, but it was going to be a patient process and you were a little excited to get it moving forward. So that makes sense coming into this month that you're still kind of being patient, but maybe feeling like you want to move things quicker, regardless of whether you're single, looking to date, find a relationship, get married, or whether you're looking to reconcile. The 8 says that some of you guys just aren't still feeling exactly in the right place or exactly where you want to be, and you're just feeling like, come on, it's not moving as fast as I'd like. So let's see. Coming into the month, your current position for December is the 4 of Swords. And if I remember correctly, I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure this was either coming in to the month or exiting the month last month. I'll have to go back and look. But I'm pretty sure you guys got this card last month as well. So this goes along swimmingly with the 8 of Cups because this says that you're resting right now. You're kind of trying to figure things out. You're deciding what you want. What's going to make you happy, which is something that you've been working on, Gemini, for a while now, really coming to grips with, if you're dating, what you want and what's going to make you happy. I think last month we discussed the fact a lot of you weren't dating. You were deciding on whether you wanted to start dating again. A lot of you were preferring to be alone and just kind of have some me time. And this says that some of you may still be in that current mindset, or you still want to date, but you're not going all in. You're not just dating every random person that contacts you. Maybe you're just getting your feet wet. And then if somebody interesting comes along, or somebody who seems genuinely interested in getting to know you without any BS or games, you'll give them the time of day. But this really says that if you're dating, you're kind of taking that time to yourself too, or you're moving, very slowly because maybe the options haven't been what you want them to be. Maybe you've cut it off all, completely, and you're just kind of waiting for the universe to give you some sort of sign to get out there and date again. Maybe you're hoping that you'll meet somebody in a more tangible way, like at the grocery store or at a friend's party, something like that. So this definitely says that Gemini is not running around dating like, a serial dater or anything like that. And some of you may come back and say, hey, I'm dating all the time. Again, this may not resonate with everybody, but for the majority of the Geminis, I'm getting the feeling that you're taking more time for yourself because you've been through the chaos of dating. And I feel like this is kind of where we started or ended last month. If you're looking to reconcile, this is like recuperation. This is exhaustion. So either you've been in contact with this person and you're just going in circles and you can't really figure out what the heck you guys are going to do, or maybe you're contacting them and you're thinking, hey, things are going to move, but they're not moving in the direction you thought they would, or vice versa. Maybe they've been contacting you and they want to move and start picking up the pieces and get back together. And you're just like, I'm not ready for this. I'm exhausted. I need some time. But this really feels like, Gemini, you guys may not be in contact at all because you're really needing some me time, some recuperation, some, just kind of not even thinking about it, focusing on other things, because when you do think about it, it stresses you out. If you guys aren't in contact, maybe you've contacted them, they're not responding, or maybe they're contacting you and you just can't find the will right now to respond because whatever it is or whatever has happened has drained you to the point of no return unless you recharge your battery. The next card you have is anything internal that helps or, hinders the current position. So any hopes or fears you have coming into the month of December, and you have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is somebody who's working really hard and somebody who's very dutiful. So I feel like whether you're single or looking to reconcile, this is very similar for you both, because if you're single, this says you're putting your energy into other aspects, not just dating. You're putting your energy into kind of balancing things out, but you're being very dutiful about everything in your life. You're making sure, the house is taken care of. You're making sure the pets, the kids, you're spending time with friends, family. This is just you kind of working every aspect of your life. But I feel like this is you kind of feeling like you're teetering on, should I be putting more effort into dating, especially if you're dating or if you're single, looking to date or looking for a relationship or looking to have something long-term like marriage. You're trying to figure out this month, okay, is now a go? Like, should I be full on putting the effort into dating, almost like you do with work or almost like you do with family? This is you saying, okay, well, I realize that if I want to find what I want and I really want to date and I want to get things moving, I don't want them to be stagnant, then I'm going to have to start working at it, because some of you really have just put it on the back burner, which is good. You need a break sometimes. And I know that online dating, personally, I've been through all of that, can be chaos and it can be exhausting. And so I feel like the past month or two, you've kind of been going, okay, should I or shouldn't I? But you know that if you do, it's going to entail some hard work. Either you're going to have to find new ways of dating, or you're just going to have to be ready for, weeding through a lot of the BS and trying to figure out who's playing games and who's being genuine. If you're looking to reconcile, this is you focusing on other things and not focusing on this person, which is why you're doing it, because you're exhausted. And the one thing that seems to be stressing you out or mentally fatiguing you and even physically and emotionally fatiguing you is this person. And so you're saying, you know what? I have other things to focus on, and I can't put all my time and attention into this because it may be affecting your work. It may be affecting, I've had that breakup that's so bad that you can't even breathe. You feel like you don't want to get out of bed. You can hardly eat. And if you focus on that and you focus on this other person, what are they up to? Are we getting back together? It can really affect other aspects of your life. And you're not liking it because you're saying, hey, that's not me. I'm very methodical and I'm hardworking. I'm very cautious. I don't allow my emotions to kind of lead the way. Geminis are great lovers. They can be very emotional, but they generally don't like getting caught up in the dramatics of things. They're very, set forward, and this is, how they're going to do things. And they don't like all of the chaos of, they want, to say, hey, I love you. Oh, you love me. Great. We're going to date. We're going to have a relationship. We're going to get married, etc. They don't want 50 different people to, wade through the water and figure out all the red flags. So this says, hey, if you're looking to reconcile, you just want it to work out if it's going to work out, but you're not liking the way it's the emotional aspect of it is really draining and affecting your life, or has been, because it seems like that's something you're getting out of and taking some extra time not to allow it to happen anymore. The next card you have is your distant past. I always read this together for anybody who's single and anybody who's looking to reconcile. You have the Ten of Swords, and anytime I see the Ten of Swords in this position, this is your distant past. So over the past, 10 years, it could be back in childhood. This is something I always bring up, the past position, to either remind you of habits not to form again, people to avoid, situations to avoid, behaviors to avoid repeating, and then also to bring up anything good that maybe you should be reminded of that you really appreciated or looked for in a healthy relationship. The Ten of Swords, immediately when I see this in the past position, this is death, illness, tragedy. This is terminal illness. This is abuse, maybe childhood abuse, physical, sexual abuse. So the Ten of Swords here says, Gemini, you have some demons in your closet, and something, maybe the holidays has triggered it coming up. Maybe you haven't been dating because you've been trying to date for years and you just can't get over a person who maybe passed away in your life. It could be, a husband or wife. It could be, somebody out there has an ex that they were broken up with and that person passed away. So there's definitely some sort of tragedy, and the feelings are spiking a little bit because of the holidays, or there's some sort of anniversary date. Something for some of you is coming up here. It also may be that you haven't dated in a long time because you've been going through counseling. Maybe there really was some abuse growing up. And in order to have a healthy relationship, you have to, deal with any physical or sexual abuse that happened once upon a time. And maybe Gemini, some of you have had to really have some really high moments and really low moments and realize that Some of your relationships just aren't going to work unless you clear up some troubled past waters. For the majority of you, though, I think it's going to be tragic endings, breakups that were, the heartbreak I'm talking about, where you can barely breathe, you can't get out of bed. And some of you may have taken years before you're actually trusting. And even now you're debating on whether you can trust somebody. You're like, okay, that's where this hard work is coming in. If you're single, you're going, I'm going to have to put a lot of work into this and work into myself, because the security I'm going to need in order to feel like I can trust again is a really big deal, which means I need to put a lot of work into finding somebody that's going to be good and healthy for me. And this reconciliation may be, some of you may be having a hard time with the reconciliation because, you've had past relationships that have ended so badly, and you just don't want to keep repeating that pattern. And for some of you, this may be a marriage of 10 years or 7 years or 11 years that, this is where the breakup is, and you're feeling this. You're feeling like you're having a hard time feeling like you want to move on because you care about this person, you love this person, and you have a lot invested in this person. So whenever I see this, it makes me just want to say, it always seems so bad in the moment, and it always seems so bad, right, for the next couple of months. But we always heal, get over it, and move on. So for anybody who's had these tragedies or gone through this, I'm truly deeply sorry, and it will get better. So Gemini, this is your card for the most recent past, over the past 2 weeks, past month or so, and you have the Chariot, which anytime I see the Chariot reminds me of Cancer. So some of you may have been dealing with a Cancer over the past few weeks, past month or two. The Chariot is you, if you're single, this is you trying to figure out what you want. So this is you really deciding that you're going to put the hard work into it, or making up your mind on what it is you want in life, and then figuring out that balance. The Chariot card is about balancing, right? Because if the two horses pulling the carriage aren't going in the same direction, the carriage stands still and it doesn't go anywhere. So either you're really, and I keep saying this, but like Gemini, it feels like you almost have like this thought out, like you're writing it out, like this is the do's and this is the don'ts, this is the pros and this is the cons of somebody I would spend the rest of my life with, which is really important. But like I said before, I think that you're putting a lot of work into yourself, and the Chariot is all about ID, like literally identifying yourself, figuring out who you are, figuring out your life path, and really delving into your soul. This is big time. This isn't just, oh, I want to get married and I want to meet a guy, and so I'm going to lose some weight and change my hair color. This is like, approaching life in a completely different way. This is also about self-control too, because you're learning that just because somebody says that they like you, or just because you meet somebody and you go on a few dates and they say, oh, I think we'd be good together, it doesn't always go the way you think it's going to. And I think some of you have had your hopes up a few times, and now you're just kind of like, okay, I am starting to read the signs of somebody who actually is looking for something versus somebody who's kind of stringing me along, telling me what they think that I want to hear. If you're looking to reconcile, this is all about balancing it out, but it's also about duality. This tells me that you and this other person have not been on the same wavelength for a long time. And that's where this duality, you're both heading in different directions. Either you wanted to get serious and be in a committed relationship and they didn't, or you wanted to get serious and get married, or there's something here that was separating you guys. Maybe it was work, maybe it was even distance. One of you guys lives in one area and somebody else lives in another, and geography was playing a big role. Whatever this is, for anybody looking to reconcile, there's a lot of splits here. There's a lot of, we're not seeing eye to eye on these things, and these particular things you're not coming together on are important, or else the relationship is not going to work. So you've really got some thinking to do, but right now it seems like you're just trying to recoup and figure out everything in life work-wise and everything else you have to take care of. And then you can focus on this once you have all your ducks in a row. The next card you have is your distant future. So the next few weeks into the new year, probably generally goes for about 90 days, so 3 months. and you have the Four of Wands. So if you're single, this says that it's very interesting because the Four of Wands is all about resting, just like the Four. So it's a 4 thing, but which could be 4 weeks, 4 months, could be the 4th of the month that you're going to be meeting this person, could be April, but there's definitely somebody coming in and it's like a stability. It's a happiness. So I'm trying to think who else got this. Shoot. I don't remember, but I believe somebody else in the readings this month got this card in the same position. But this says it's a first completion, right? So that means you're not going to be in the dating world for a long time. You're going to be coming out of that. Very interesting. Who else got this? I'm trying to think. Maybe it was Scorpio, but there's another sign that got it as well. This card makes me very happy when I see this here in this position, because this means something stable. This doesn't mean that you're going to be continuing to date. This means that maybe you'll date, but you'll be committed to 1 or 2 people and just dating them, or committed to one person and moving into the next step, which could be a relationship. You know, some people could be moving in together because you can see that they've kind of got a place together, and this is something. But it's definitely a first completion. So it could just be meeting a person that you're going to date for a while, committed, but not in a relationship, or it could be moving from dating to a relationship, because again, this is over the next few months. But when I see this, it's nice because there's nothing chaotic about this. There's not 10 different people coming in and out of your life. It's a steady flow of one person, or if you are wanting to date 2 or 3 people, it's 2 or 3 good people that you think you could see yourself with down the line, possibly developing a relationship. If you're looking to reconcile, there's a happiness coming in a first completion. So maybe just communication is all that you need. Again, this Chariot is saying that you guys have been on a different path over the past few weeks, past month or two, and that may be why this breakdown of communication and this separation happened. If you guys can communicate and figure out where you want to be, and if your goals can come together, and if you guys can somehow figure out a path that will work for both of you, if it's that important and something you want, then you can have this happiness and you can get to this stable place in your relationship. If you can't, then, you know, if you're both going in different directions, it's a moot point. It's not going to work. If it's something that's really important to you or something that's really important to them, at some point, it's okay to sacrifice things, right, for somebody else. But it depends on how big those sacrifices are as well. The next card you have is your immediate future. So over the next few weeks and throughout the month of December, and that makes perfect sense. So the Hermit is resting. The Hermit is also Virgo. So you may be dealing with a nurse sign, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, but the Hermit card is Virgo. So you've got a Cancer here and a Virgo here. Now the Hermit says this is very fitting for this read, because this says you're having to retreat a little bit, which I think, Gemini, most of you, especially if you're single, have been retreating. But also if you're looking to reconcile, you've been kind of in your own man or woman cave as well. The Hermit says that you're retreating to gain wisdom and spirituality within yourself, which, like I said, you're doing a lot of work on yourself. And the Chariot also says you've been doing that. It could be meditation, it could be yoga, it could be going to counseling. Maybe you're battling with these demons, or maybe you're, figuring out where your relationships became unhealthy. Maybe they were learned behaviors from past relationships, or watching parents who went through difficult relationships, and you're realizing that you're repeating those same patterns. Whatever it is, the Hermit is saying if you're dating, you are taking a step back. You are not putting yourself out there to meet, 100 different people. You really want to take the time to get to know yourself again, or start feeling like yourself, or start feeling like you're actually looking for somebody who would fit with the real you. And the Hermit says that you'll come out when you're ready, but this is a different level. Like I said with the Chariot too, the Hermit is a different level. It's on a higher level. It's not just about, again, hair or, working out or whatever. This is about your true happiness and your inner soul, and figuring out what's going to mesh with you, and then allowing the universe to kind of guide you in that direction. If you're looking to reconcile, you're doing exactly what the 4 says. You're retreating. You're going, and I said it to one other sign. Whenever I see this come up, it makes me feel like it's your turn to back off. Like maybe you've been contacting this person and they're not reciprocating, or if they do, it's kind of half-assed. And this is saying, retreat, wait. The minute you disappear, the minute there's no contact, they'll come out of the woodwork. Trust me. The minute you're not contacting them, they'll come out. So if you have been contacting them, take some time for yourself, rest, be at peace, and watch. They'll come out of the woodwork. If you haven't been in any contact, I feel like either you're not ready for it or they're not ready for it, because you need something else to happen, or you need to feel secure in something else before you guys move into this next step in your life.